Go to ChristyComedy.com for all my stand-up dates. Baby, March 11th in Nashville this Friday, co-headlining with the Babe Sal Volcano. March 18th and 19th, we are in Seattle and Portland. Those shows almost sold out. Go get the tickets. March 25th, Las Vegas, Nevada at the Wynn. Then we got April 8th in Indianapolis and April 9th in Denver, Colorado at the Paramount Theater. ChristyComedy.com for all the ticket wikis. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chrissy Chaos Show. I am drinking my Athletic Greens. Thanks for being a sponsor. No, I'm kidding. I am drinking Athletic Greens, though. It's just good. It makes me feel good, and I like the vitamins in it. Listen, boobalas. I mean, look, today is, what's today? Thursday, March 3rd. So I don't know if we'll be wiped off the face of the earth with a nuke by Tuesday when this episode comes out, but in the event we aren't, hello, I'm coming to you live from the bomb shelter. The thing is, here's the thing, is I'm going to start just calling my Instagram the bomb shelter, because I've been going on daytime TV shows and bombing like you can't believe. I went on the Rosanna Scotto show yesterday on Fox 5. If you're not from New York, then you don't know who she is, or maybe you do know who she is. If you're from New York, then you're like, wow, I mean, it's the biggest thing I've ever done, is go on the Rosanna Scotto show. It was really, 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 really fun. I went on there and I said to myself, why don't you actually try to do good on this show and see if you bomb? And I had one big swing of a joke making fun of Bill de Blasio, saying that he takes the elliptical. He only does the elliptical because his knees hurt. And I was like, I wonder why your knees hurt, Bill. And that bombed hard. I was trying to do a blowjob joke about Bill de Blasio, and it bombed hard. But I will say one thing about Rosanna Scotto is she's one of the only news people I've ever met that she leans in to like the conservative, crazy stuff. Like, she's the opposite of woke. She told me, she goes, I'll never have a woke comic on the show. I think they're all not funny. She's like, I think to be funny, you have to just say the truth. And she's like, the truth is we're a nation of pussies and Bill de Blasio's ruined this city. She's like, that's what the truth is. And I'm happy that comedians say that. And I'm like, the thing is I'm not a political comedian. I'm really not. I try to just take swings. I mean, I make fun of Joe Biden being in a diaper, and I make fun of Republicans too. Not as much, but I do, but I don't love them either. Okay. I'm Chrissy down the middle, Chrissy gray zones. But it's interesting that, Rosanna Scotto being this newscaster, that allows kind of more conservative jokes. She's like a rarity.
Well, she tagged one of your jokes on the show. She was talking about de Blasio helped homeless people rub poop.
Yeah. On my Instagram, I did a joke at my Borgata shows at Atlantic City. Thank you for everyone coming out, except this section of people in the front row. Thanks to everybody else. I hope you guys died in a bus accident. But not died, or maybe got injured in a bus accident. Not died. I wouldn't say that. Actually, I hope you're fine. I hope you're all fine. I recant the previous minutes of that. Don't edit that out. Actually, no, edit it out. So I said on that comedy show, I said that if Bill de Blasio, because I said the mayor of Kiev, former boxer Vladimir Klitschko, is out there with an AK-47 defending Kiev, and I said if Bill de Blasio was the mayor of Kiev, he'd be on his knees sucking Putin's cock. And Rosanna Scotto was like, what did you mean by that? Basically, she was like on Fox 5 live television. She was like, tell us about that de Blasio joke. I was like, how do you want me to tell you about this de Blasio joke? So I just stumbled through. And then did you guys see when they cut to me before my interview? And she goes, I wish Bob Marley was my dad. And then she's like, why? And I didn't have an answer for that. I was like, my dad gambles. I didn't know. I should have just said, because I wish my dad was black and see what would have happened. But that she caught me off guard with that. But it's this Chrissy daytime TV thing that I'm doing. And I got to be honest with you. Anytime you get support from fellow comics on a bit, I feel like it's a good bit, because I went to the Comedy Cellar last night, and all these comics that I look up to, that's like one of the best bits I've seen in a while. It's this Chrissy daytime TVs where you go and you derail daytime TV shows, because the thing is, nobody knows. I'll get booked on more daytime TV, God willingly, and they won't have any idea that I'm going to come and derail it. And then if we get to the next level in this career, which things are looking up for the lawsuit, so it's possible, if we get to the next part of this career, when we do, I'm going to be there. Then you're going to see an even more unleashed character called Late Night Chrissy. When I get on the late night shows, Late Night Chrissy is going to show up to every interview fully drunk or on drugs. Late Night Chrissy is going to come in and start kissing the host on the mouth. I'll lick Jimmy Fallon live on the air. I don't care. So Late Night Chrissy is a new character that we're striving to. By the way, this poop attack perp that told cops shit happens when he was throwing poop at people, he does look a little bit like Kobe Bryant, right? A little bit. So in this photo, he looks a little like Kobe Bryant. So it's like not good, this is not good.
Did you see that attack?
No, but he's wearing a Jason Williams. I like that jacket though. Can we find that jacket with white Jason Williams from the Sacramento Kings on the jacket? Slam jacket. I need this jacket. I'm the new poop bandit. What? So what was he doing? He was throwing shit at him. People like,
let me see if I'll pull up the video here. But this woman is sitting on the platform minding her business, and he just walks up with poop in his hand.
Okay.
And then just smashes it in her face and rubs it all over her face.
Oh, yummy, yummy in my tummy. Nice. And then what happened? Did she get pink eye? This lady? If she didn't get pink eye from this, pink eye ain't real. It's like the same thing where it's like, is pink eye even real if you get homeless shit shoved in your face and don't get pink eye? Imagine you found out that the booster is the cure for pink eye. Wow, and then she called her a fucking Jew and said, I'm going to kill you? This person? He said, yeah. That's the thing. Black people don't get enough credit for their anti-Semitism. It's all about whites, but black people, there's a lot of black people that are anti-Semites. They don't get enough credit for it. I think we should start talking about how there's a huge anti-Semitic tone through certain members of the African-American community as well. The Shimahima, the jeweler we had on last week, said that Jay-Z was an anti-Semite. I believe it. It's like, the thing is, it's not all whites, unfortunately. Sometimes you gotta just tell the truthy-woothy here. You can't generalize any group of people, but I'm just saying, he should the thing is, if that was a white person who did that, all they'd be talking about is that he called her a fucking Jew and not the shit in the face. So it just needs to go both ways, like me.
Have you seen the QAnon leftovers that are going to the Ukraine to fight?
No, but honestly, they should release that Viking helmet guy out of prison and let him go to the front lines of Kiwi Weevy. Here's the thing with the Ukraine-Russia crisis, okay? Here is the thingy-wingy. It's unfortunately, there's no winners, okay? There's going to be no winners. The only people that will lose is the Ukraine. So, and it's getting to the level now where it's just insanity. It's kind of this yellow journalism, fact stuff. Vladimir Putin and the Russians have said the reason why they've invaded the Ukraine is to absolve it of Nazism, but the president of the Ukraine is a Jewish comedian. So it makes no sense. Now, the Russians, okay, here's the truth. The white Russians, because I don't know if there's any black people in Russia, but the white Russians, which is a good drink, the white Russians, there have to be black Russians, by the way. Can we Google black Russian?
Of course.
Google black Russians. I hope that there's a lot of black people in Russia. I want there to be black Russians. I want to be black people in every country. I want to be black.
They're called Afro-Russians.
Oh, Afro-Russians. There you go. Black Russians, people of African descent that have migrated and settled to Russia. There you go. So yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to see the black neighbors in Russia. I have no reason why I want to see them. It's just interesting to me. Just like when Chinese people have Jamaican accents because they're born and raised in Jamaica. It's just mind-blowing. It's a mind-blowing thing. But here's the thing.
Well, actually, the black people did face discrimination fleeing from Ukraine too.
Really? Oh, see, that's not good. So the black. Oh yeah, because I saw a thing that said something about like black people were not being allowed to board trains out on the migration. I don't know if that's bullshit, but I saw something about that.
Did you see those videos of the people boarding the trains? That was crazy. That was really.
Are they getting like pushed onto the trains?
It felt like World War II. Yeah.
Like just boarding. Yeah. The problem is this though. Okay, is unfortunately Let me preface everything I'm about to say right now. Let me lean forward and look into the camera. I am a patriot. I am Chrissy a patriot. I am Chrissy the American citizen. I bleed red, white, and blue. I love this country. I actually wish I could wear a wig like a founding father. That's my new hairstyle. Is I'm done with the mullet. I'm done. I want to start growing my hair out like I'm a founding father. That's the look I want. Okay, and I want to start dressing like them. I want an excuse to wear leggings and high heel shoes, just like the founding fathers used to wear. So, and I have syphilis like Ben Franklin. So, I want to preface everything I'm about to say is I love this country. But, B-U-T-T, we are probably more than 50% to blame for the crisis that's happening right now in the Ukraine and Russia. We told Russia, all Russia wanted, when we made NATO, okay? It's the same reason why the Japanese attacked us in World War II. We said, fuck you to Russia when we made NATO. We said the Cold War is, after World War II. Here's the history. You ready for Chrissy Histories? Let's do Christories. We haven't done a Christory Distefano segment in a while. We're going to get some history. So now, who's this? She's all right? Okay. Okay. I didn't know who that was. I thought that was the UPenn swimmer. Okay, yeah, we're going to pause the train video. So then we're going to get to the trains after that. That little girl's cute. See, that little girl reminds me of Delilah. This could be Delilah. It's terrible. But here's the thing, is in 1949, okay, after World War II, United States led the way. We made NATO, okay? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. We made all these countries came together, excluding Russia and China, and said, we are now a pact. We're a pact that's pro-democracy against communism, right? What does that start? The Cold War. Then, so there's a reason for NATO, right? It makes sense to have NATO. Fine. In 1990, what happens? The Berlin Wall falls. The Berlin Wall comes falling down. Russia is now, because I don't know if people may not know this, but the reason why there even was a Berlin Wall is because it was the spoils of war. When we won World War II, the United States and Russia were the winners of World War II, really. They divided Germany. They said, Germany, hey, you're Nazis, so guess what, baby? You can't have a country anymore, you fucking idiots, because you want to put people in ovens, and that's not good. So they said, no, you're not going to have that shit. Actually, you can't even have ovens. You can't cook. Done. So they said East Germany will belong to the Russians. That's why East Germany looked like shit and was boring and dull, because Russia doesn't have gay people. They don't allow gay people. So the West, that's why Western Germany, we have gay people, and that's why our cities look so nice and we had good food, because you need gays to, bring a little spice into it. And they wouldn't, East Germany really allowed no gay people, so their shit looked dull. But then in 1990, the Berlin Wall collapses, because what collapses also? The Soviet Union. The USSR goes bye-bye. And then it breaks up into all these different countries, with Mother Russia being the big one, right? But then all these other countries splinter. And there's all a little beef here and there. But the Ukraine was a big territory that said, we're not going to be with Russia. We want our independence, because the Ukraine has been occupied by a foreign force since the 14th century. So the Ukrainians finally said, we finally have peace. We finally have peace and we're finally independent. So we don't want to lose this. But that pissed Russia off, because you have to understand something about Russia. The modern Russia as a nation is Kiev. It was called the Kiev Rus people. That's the people that started Russia. So they are intertwined. Ukraine is intertwined with Russian culture, so Russia does not want to let the Ukraine go, because it is an integral part of them. It's how the nation started. It'd be like if the United States all of a sudden, that's why we don't want to lose Texas, because we're like, Texas is America, but Texas like, we don't want to be with you anymore. And they're like, well, you have to stay. It's the same problems. So what happens is this is why Russia doesn't want to lose Ukraine for that reason. But the bigger thing with Ukraine is when the Berlin Wall fell, okay? When the Berlin Wall fell, the United States, President George Bush Sr. said NATO should break. We were saying we should break up NATO, but Bush said, no. How about instead of breaking up NATO, you, the Russian people, and the Prime Minister of Russia conceded a big thing. He said, we'll give you back Germany. Germany can be in NATO, which is a big concession for the Russians to give up Germany. They basically gave the entire country of Germany. They said, Germany, you can go to NATO under one condition. You will not move. It's a famous line, said, you will not move 1 inch east of Germany, not an inch east of Germany. United States says, okay, yeah, we're not going to move an inch past Germany, right? And then what happens? Within 12 months, we start to grab countries east of Germany. Little by little, we start getting closer and closer and closer to the Russians' prized possession, the Ukraine. Every single leader in the Western world, from Noam Chomsky to generals, everybody was saying, do not go any further east. There's not even a reason for NATO anymore, because the threat of communism is over. The Cold War is over. It collapsed. The USSR collapsed. They want democracy. The people want democracy. Nobody wants communism anymore. But NATO still, because what is NATO really? Let's get into what is NATO, baby. You know what NATO is? NATO is a proxy for the United States. The United States runs NATO, okay? Yes, I know there's all these other countries, blah, blah, fucking blah. It's the United States. It's a reason for them to put ballistic missiles and their soldiers and nuclear warheads. Any NATO country, that's what happens. When you join NATO, now you can put your weapons there. That's basically what it is. And listen, I love this country, but what do we make money on? War. Why are we the United States? War. Why is every country scared of us? We have all the guns. We have all the guns. We have the biggest weapons. So you could say all you want, because, you know, what's happening now in our country, like the woke, you know, TikTok, America's weak, all that. It's not true. It's just all bullshit. It's actually not true. We are still by far the strongest. We have by far the strongest military in the entire world. We spend more money on our military than every single other nation in the world combined, baby. That's a fact. Combined, we spend more. So we have the most superior military in the world. So we want to keep making it bigger and keep enforcing it. And we do that through NATO. It's a little trick that we have through NATO. And everybody said, if you get close to the Ukraine, it's going to be a problem. We should not ask Ukraine to come into NATO because that will fucking piss Russia off and make them mad scared. And that's what we did. In around 2014, when the Russians annexed Crimea, we said, Ukraine, come to NATO, come to NATO. Big problem. Vladimir Putin has been saying since 2000, if you guys get Ukraine and NATO, you're going to give me no choice but to act. No choice but to act. Now, is Vladimir Putin a thug, lunatic that shits on his own people? Abso-fucking-lutely. But so is every other politician or every other billionaire. Most of them just suck, besides Mark Cuban, who's doing a nice thing with pharmaceuticals. Shout out Mark Cuban. But he was saying, don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. And we kept coming closer, right? Think about it from the United States point of view. Imagine Mexico, right? There's always drama with Mexico. Imagine the Mexican people overthrew their government. Fucking tomorrow. They overthrow their government. Mañana. For my Mexican-speaking audience. They overthrow the government mañana. And then the people of that new Mexican government do not like the United States. They consider us an enemy. What is Mexico going to most likely do? Go to our biggest enemy, Mother Russia, and say, hey, can you send over a few tanks and a few soldiers and just put them on the Mexican-American border just in case shit pops off? How's that going to make the United States feel? We're going to say, well, now we need to attack Mexico. We can't let them punch first. This is what's happening in the Ukraine and Russia. The NATO has now said we're going to start putting people in the Ukraine, and Russia now feels they have to act. Do they have to act? Probably not. Has there ever been a threat from Russia since the Cold War ended and since the Berlin Wall ended? Has there been a threat from Russia? Not really, but NATO thinks there is. So it's all abstract men with power trying to make the first move first, trying to throw a knockout blow. Well, now, unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where the Ukrainian people are going to lose big again. They've only had their freedom for not even 30 years, and they're going to lose it again. Because if Russia wins, then they get occupied by Russia. If they repel the Russians, then the United States is going to put NATO in there. So the Ukrainian people sit in this unwinnable situation, and everybody goes towards calling Vladimir Putin and the Russian people maniacs, and they are. But you have to understand that this was provoked, okay? This is all provoked. The United States and NATO, we are to blame as well, okay? The Ukrainian people are not. The Ukrainian people, to put them in the situation of even asking them to join NATO is an impossible situation. The Ukrainian people wanted to be left alone, but they can't. The Russians would try to put puppet government in, puppet presidents in. Vladimir Putin puts little puppets in. They would get ousted. There'd be coups. And then we put in people like Zelensky who want to fight Russia and are asking NATO to come in. All because it's all money for them. It's all money. It's all matters money. And then the people die. The kids die. The children die. Their lives are uprooted. Kiev was a modern city. It was a modern full city that was enjoying its independence. And now it's gone. It's going to be gone. I promise you it'll be either Russia will start to bomb the shit out of it, because the play was 5 days ago, right? You know what the play was 5 days ago? Oh, Putin said, we want to preserve Kiev because I want to occupy it and bring them back into Mother Russia where they belong, to preserve the Ruski heritage. Well, now that plans have changed because the Ukrainians have resistance. They're called, like, the military leaders are calling them like a porcupine, right? They're very, very hard to roll over. So now he's saying the strategy has changed. Now he says, I'm embarrassed. I got fucking embarrassed, Vladimir Putin. So he said, so now I'm going to show you the Russian military the same way that the United States nuked Japan for no reason other than to say, Russia, look at the weapons we have. This is what Russia is trying to do now for the United States, because they said, we got embarrassed, so now we're going to bring out the big boys. God willing, no nukes. It's possible, but hopefully not. But you're going to start to see the best of Russian artillery coming and destroying the country of Ukraine to show the United States that they are not weak, because the narrative now is Putin and the Russians are weak and their military sucks. And that's a very, very, very dangerous narrative that the news is putting forth. And it's going to get millions of people killed, and the war absolutely can make it to the United States in very, very proxy ways or for real ways. So just before you get your news from TikTok or whatever newscaster you may or may not like, just understand that this is so much more complicated than we know. And I don't even know barely anything. I don't know barely anything. But what I do know for sure is that the media is going to make this seem like what it's not. Because what it really is one man's ego and the United States ego vying for power and killing innocent people. That's the fucking truth of the situation. And I don't know where it lands. I hope, my daughter was asking me yesterday what's going on in the war, and I tried to explain to her, I said, listen, baby, yesterday was Ash Wednesday, and the ashes of the nuclear winter that's going to happen is what's in the cross on your head. I didn't know what to explain. I said, she goes, who's good and who's bad? I said, it's tough to say. It's tough to say, baby. I said, who's good, who's bad? I said, Russia has problems. The Ukraine has problems. The United States has problems. I said, all I really need you to do, baby, is eat your sandwich and eat your food and go take a shower and stop pulling out your loose tooth, okay? And I'm going to read you your book. I'm going to read you a little book, The Day We Lost the Crayons, or whatever book she wants to read. And I'm going to try not to have a panic attack over what's happening in the Russia and Ukraine. But the bottom line is I don't know, because there's somebody in her class who's Ukrainian. So she's like, she's telling me like, that girl's parents are still in the Ukraine. And she's like, and she's really scared. And she's telling us all these things. And I'm like, yeah. Well, baby, unfortunately, there might be a little war, but don't worry, daddy can protect you, okay? Because daddy's been taking mommy's classes on Patreon. Go to Jazzy Methods Patreon. Daddy's been doing all her classes and working out, and I'm very strong. So people can come in here, and what happens is I will burpee them, and then I'll hit them with the spin kick that I learned on Jazzy Methods Patreon's bike. Now, I'm sorry that I just went on a little bit of a rant, but the problem is that it's just, I just want to be the source of your news. I want to be your journalistic source. Now let's talk about Kanye West killing Pete Davidson.
Well, there is breaking news about Putin.
Okay, French President Macron. By the way, his name is Macron. Every time I see French President Macron, I always think of macaroons, and I get hungry. Oh, I forgot to order lunch, by the way. Okay. Well, sorry about that. Do you want to order it? Do you have my credit card, V?
Don't.
Shit.
Have your phone?
Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, I have a missed call. Who called me? Oh, National Grid. I haven't paid the bill. Here. Yeah, and go. Seamless. Go to previous orders. Go find your quinoa salad, and get me something fun and healthy. Is what I'd like.
Fun and healthy.
Yeah, but healthy. You know what I mean?
But not fun. Just more healthy.
Yeah, I guess just get me healthy. Just get me a salad and a bran muffin. No, get me a salad. Or whatever. Or cold oatmeal. Listen, ShipStation, I use it for my business. It is one of those things where it just makes everything easier, ShipStation. It's my business off to a good start this year, and I realize that things are going to get even crazier and crazier and crazier, and Vanity uses it. Homeless Pimp uses it. I use it. We keep every order managed with ShipStation, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, website, ChristyComedy.com. We do it from our phone. That's how we stay organized and how we always get you guys everything you want. ShipStation, it automates just about any shipping task with just a few clicks. It's trusted by over 100,000 e-commerce sellers, and it works with every single carrier, so you can always find the best fit for you. For me, what I love about ShipStation the most is, number one, it saves me money, and then it's just so easy to use. I mean, literally, Delilah was on it the other day, just shipping shit out everywhere. It's wild. And you can ship more in less time. You could ship more in less time with ShipStation. Use my offer code CHAOS, CHAOS, and you get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page and type in chaos. That's shipstation.com. Make ship happen, shipheads. Sheathhead. If you know me, I pack an atomic fart, okay? And my farts rip open my undies left and right. But guess what? Guess what undies hold my farts in? Sheath underwear. They are the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever worn. If you're sick of boxers that are too loose or briefs that are too tight, Sheath is for you, okay? And if you keep gaining weight and losing weight right in your fat ass and thighs just like I do, Sheath is good for you because it expands and it's awesome. It's particularly useful for staying cool during the summer and while working out. Your nuts are just nice and clean. The most unique thing about Sheath underwear is that they have these dual pouches that keep your man parts separated, which prevents things from sticking together, keeps them right where they need to be. I freaking love Sheath. Go to sheathunderwear.com and get the most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. That's Sheath, SHEATH underwear.com. And for Chrissy Chaos listeners, if you use the promo code CHAOS, you'll also get 20% off your first order. So that's not bad at all. Sheathunderwear.com. Use promo code CHAOS. That's CHAOS for 20% off your order. Sheathunderwear.com, baby. Use the promo code CHAOS. I love them. So, okay, so now what's EmmanuelMacron is saying, Russian president. By the way, was that rant too long, or is it a little bit of a better understanding of it now, or did you guys understand that shit already?
I didn't know that much, so that was a good review.
It was a good review, decent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you put the United States Mexico stuff in, I mean that's really what it's like. That's like you know what I'm saying? Russia's fucked up, but what do you really want them to do? What do you want the Russian people to do? Not act? They should.
It seems like the Russian people don't care. I think.
I meant the Russian military.
My thing is, I think Putin got diagnosed with cancer and is like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going out.
He shouldn't be invading the Ukraine. The truth is it should have been diplomacy and talks, and really what we should have just come to an agreement and say, we should have guaranteed to Russia, we will not make Ukraine a NATO nation. We should have guaranteed to him, and then this would stop. So the fact that he decided to do this, he's wrong, he's fucked, he should go down as like a warmongering psychopath because now he's killing all these people. But he feels he was pushed to it. Was he? I don't know. But the history is what it is, you know?
I also feel like he's a guy with nukes. Was he going to die and not drop one nuke?
He wants to drop one nuke.
He has to drop one nuke.
He wants to drop one nuke. So, listen. But here's what EmmanuelMacron is saying. He's talking with Russian President Vladimir Putin over the phone on Thursday. Oh, wow. See, because Vladimir Putin hasn't made any statements or talked to anybody. So that's it. Because I've noticed Putin's not on the news anywhere. So he's not making any statements because he's just sitting there with his fucking finger on the nuke. So he said, in a bid to ease tensions between Russia and the Ukraine, the pair spoke for 90 minutes, Putin telling Macron that the conflict was going according to plan. A source present described the tone of the phone call as pessimistic and not so friendly. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine enters its second week, Kherson Mayor Ihor Kolokolova told NBC News Thursday that the city had been captured by Russian forces. After more than a full day of continuous shelling, hundreds are feared dead in the port of Mariupol, the deputy mayor said. Yeah, so now the Russians are very close to getting water access, and if they get the port of Odessa, which is in the Ukraine, then the Ukraine is completely fucked, and then it puts the United States in a very precarious situation because what the news is going to do, and rightfully so, unfortunately, Putin gave the world no choice now, what the news will do is show pictures of dead children and dead women and dead civilians to show how horrible the war is. And then that is going to ignite the Western powers because the public of all these countries are going to be rightfully horrified. And we're probably going to send troops into the Ukraine. NATO. I hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope it doesn't. But it seems inevitable if they get that port in Odessa because then they will just trample the Ukrainian people. So unfortunately, it's like we said on, I think it was the Patreon, where they said, you know, we've known peace for too long. We've never known war. So when you never know war, you really don't understand peace. And we don't understand peace as people. So now there'll be war and we'll probably beg for peace, but it's too late. And I know it's not even affecting the United States yet. It is in sanctions with oil and gas, but who gives a fuck? Okay, so you got to pay a few more cents for your gallon. Then don't drive your car. Walk, you fat fuck. Who gives a shit about the fucking gas? It's when your children start to get killed. Then you'll really be like, okay, stop. But it'd be too late. Hopefully it's not. I don't want this podcast to feel like the call between the French president and Vladimir Putin, pessimistic. I don't want to be pessy-wessy, okay? I want to be optimistic. But we're just trying to spit the truth here as we know it, okay? I'm not an expert. I fucking don't know, okay? But I'm just trying not to get my news off TikTok. Ooh, speaking of TikTok, somebody just went viral after explaining the Russia-Ukraine conflict. What did this fucking person say about it?
That's a full 2-minute clip. I just wanted to bring up that there's people fully monetizing the war on YouTube.
I know, which is insane.
Like, the future is going to be just war footage with ads.
It's disgusting.
How are you going to compete with war?
Can we just see? I know. Can I just see this girl, though, this TikTok star goes, I want to just compare her explanation to mine because she's a black woman, so automatically she should win. And I understand that. I understand her point, and I just think that I've had the privilege to read books and not been, here we go. Just get me to where's the TikTok? I don't give a fuck. I love when journalists.
Okay, so boom.
I love when journalists put their spin on. Just show the TikTok.
But Big Bang P just linked up with China, and if I'm not mistaken, Big Bang P is one of the richest men in the world, and everybody and their mama owe China some money, so we might have an issue. But this will happen. Big Bang P was looking at Ukraine, and he like, I like that territory. It's like real close to Russia, and I feel like it belongs to us, so I'm finna come get it. So he didn't move his military close to the border, and he letting them know like, I'm finna come get it, like. Just letting y'all know, right? And so Ukraine is like, we don't know what he's gonna do. So they got their military out there teaching their citizens how to do Taibo just in case they gotta defend themselves. But some of the citizens, they like, you know what? Big Bang P, he is kind of crazy, but he ain't finna bust a grape. And if he do bust a grape, guess what? America gonna come over here and help us. But my whole thing is like, I don't know if y'all forgot what happened in Afghanistan, but we was over there for over 20 years and nobody understood the assignment. So personally, I just would not put all my eggs in the American basket. I done seen the type of people that are American military employed, and no disrespect, but y'all need to go to them continuation schools in the hood and go get you some real shooters. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, so Biden done hopped in, right? So Big Daddy Biden, he done hopped into the mix, and he like, look, P, stop playing with me. I know you're trying to be funny because America over here arguing about abortion rights and affirmative action during Black History Month, but I ain't got time for this right now. So if you pull up over there, it's gonna be some smoke, and you're gonna get sanctions. I'm sending you a whole receipt. Like, you're gonna have to pay this bill. And P is like, bruh, let me tell you something. By the look of the inflation in America and y'all homelessness problem y'all got over there, y'all need this money. So go ahead and send me the bill, bruh. I'll pay it in cash. And so at this point, it's out of our hands.
No mention of NATO, but pretty good. So the main thing that was missed is that it's NATO. NATO is not NISO. So that's but hey, you know what? That'll win a fucking award. And it's what it is. Melinda Gates, Bill's work with abhorrent Jeffrey Epstein played role in divorce. Yeah, dude. The thing is with Billy Gates is, see, money just makes shit go away, right? I mean, Bill Gates was on Epstein's island, right? I mean, that's pretty much confirmed, but we're still like,
we love
Bill Gates.
It was the heart of their divorce.
Mm-hmm. Not one thing, but many things that forced her to pull the plug on her 27-year marriage. I do not like that in meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. I made that clear to him. Okay, saying that he met the late perv exactly one time because she wanted to see who this man was. I regretted it the second I walked in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. My heart breaks for these women. Yes. Well, French Gates, did you witness?
I mean, he must have been really with this guy.
But because Bill has so much money and is so influenced in the media, like nothing will happen to him, and we'll just keep listening to him about the vaccine.
Look at him. Doesn't he look like a...
He does. I mean, I think at that level, it almost like I don't know if any of them. But it seems Mark Cuban is the only good billionaire. It seems to me that Mark Cuban is the good one. It seems that's what it's projected to me.
Or is he billionaire Cosby?
He could be. I don't trust. Because Mark Cuban seems like he hasn't changed much. He still wears the same clothes, the same things, family man, trying to do things for healthcare. I guess Elon Musk is trying to do things. He put Starlink up in Ukraine, but he seems like the billionaires who are in the news, he seems like the only one who there's no scandal around him. Owns a basketball team, tries to make his players like the best. Like it seems like he's one that got through the loophole of like, he just got his money the right way and he's just a good guy, it seems. But like Bill Gates is it's scummy. Now, did Bill Gates finance the Kanye West music video that's out right now in claymation? Which, by the way, this let me say something about the song Eazy. which the music video is in claymation of Kanye West beheading Pete Davidson. It's satanic. I'm all for listen, I'm all for comedy and expressing art. I think you say whatever the fuck you want to do. It's a free country. Do whatever you want. But this is like on a thing where it's like, man, it's like borderline psychotic. And I think I spoke to a lawyer who said that this, when I was talking about my lawsuit, he said that this is the the reason why they did claymation is because it's in like that cartoon world where you can't really pin anything on Kanye with that, because he could say that's anybody, even though he said at the end Skeet Davidson or whatever. You could still say it's anybody, but it truly is like a satanic music video that's very, very, very weird to me. It's very weird that he's chose to do this,
like
because
the shots where he's holding Pete's head.
It's
like,
very weird.
What is going on?
It's also too like, I kind of feel like why would you want to bring this attention on you? Like I would never be able. I don't want this. I never, like, somebody tweets something negative at me, I don't go back at them. I don't want the smoke. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with that. I don't ever want to deal with that. Yes, I see haters and that tweet negative stuff and this and that. I'll never respond to them because I don't want the back and forth. I just like move on, whatever. But these people thrive in it. And we had a good point. V had a good point on the group text before that this is the way Kim ended her last marriage, trying to get an annulment after, what, a 40-day marriage, pregnant with Kanye's kid.
She was married to Chris Humphries,
the basketball player.
And then, they annulled it. Like, she was trying to get an annulment while she was dating Kanye West.
But she was already pregnant with Kanye's kid, they think.
And then she started, I think she started dating Kanye literally after their marriage, ended after 70 days. And then they got pregnant with North. And yeah, that was what she mentioned a lot on the reality show, that she was pregnant, trying to get a divorce, and she's doing it again.
So the thing is,
the
thing is, yeah, she's the ultimate chaos. She's the ultimate.
Yeah, we should get her on.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
That's
the chaos she ends.
The music video ended once Pete died, and it says
everyone lived happily ever after. See, the thing is, I know, but see, the thing is, you have to start to ask yourself, as a human being, is any of this worth it? Is this? But it shows you how strong the vagina is, the power of pussy, as they say, as my father used to talk to me about when I was a young lad. No, God, I'm kidding. No, but it literally is the this power of it, because it's you would think this is for sure not worth it. What the fuck is that? Hold on, wait a second. Scientists work to unravel mystery of 300-year-old mummified mermaid with human face and tail. Holy shit. Look at this. This is but humans had tails back in the Disney. That's the thing. So that has to be that. It's not a mermaid. It was a prehistoric human.
You don't believe in mermaids?
Do I believe in mermaids? No. I don't know. I'll say this. I don't believe that mermaids came naturally. I do believe scientists in labs have bioengineered mermaids. I do think there are mermaids, but humans made them. Where is V going? Okay. Do not give up my phone. Okay. You better defend that like it's the Ukraine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go spice. Yeah. Southwestern salad. Yeah. The mysterious 12-inch creature, wow, I guess my dick's a mermaid, was allegedly caught in the Pacific Ocean off the Japanese island of Shikoku between 1736 and 1741 and now is kept in a temple city of Asakuchi. With a grimacing face, pointed teeth, 2 hands, and hair on its head and brow, it's an eerily human experience except for its fish-like lower half. Interesting. That is so freaking interesting.
I feel like you look mermaidish to me.
You think so?
I think it's you as a mermaid.
Yeah?
Yeah, finally come out and become a mermaid.
Yeah, I feel like I am. I feel like I do have a mermaid look, and I do feel mermaidish.
If mermaids were real, would that change anything for you?
No.
Would you go swimming still in the ocean?
Yeah, I would. There was a legend in many parts of Japan that a woman accidentally ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived for 800 years. Wow.
Japan has some wild, folklore.
Do you think maybe that's why they live so long? They have mermaid flesh. They drink mermaid tea.
Maybe. Who knows?
Bro, this story right here, I know that this is bad, but I actually was dying laughing at these pictures. Georgia mom celebrates son, uncombable hair due to rare condition. I know that it's terrible and whatever, but some of these pictures of this guy's hair, I mean, he looks like Guy Fieri. I don't mean to laugh out loud because I know that there's problems with it, but I mean, look at this kid's fucking hair. I kind of think it's cool. I know he's not going to think that, and I know that there's issues with it, but I mean, the kid's hair is so wild.
If he goes into punk rock, he's got it made.
He's huge. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think it's a cool style.
Did we order? No, it's okay. Let's just make sure it's coming through. Oh, Z1 Diner, 116. Okay.
Yeah, I found this guy, a Putin impersonator who's afraid for his life.
A Putin impersonator who's afraid for his life.
I was hoping we could get him on as a guest.
Does he live in Nueva York?
I don't know. Should we fly out of baby Putin?
I would love to fly baby Putin. I mean, yeah, this Vladimir Putin. Why is he afraid for his life? Because he thinks people are going to think that he's Putin and kill him.
I guess so. Let's see where he lives. Maybe he's out there.
Slawek Sobola. They're trying to kill the Ukrainian president too, like Russian hit squads, but they keep getting repelled. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
it's honestly crazy. I mean, I kind of feel like Russia's bombing.
Yeah,
like they're having a terrible.
Russia's having a daytime TV episode.
They're like you on TV. Yeah.
I know, dude. I know. I kind of feel like
Did you feel like there was an evil media presence in the building?
In Fox?
Yeah.
No, because it was Fox. I would feel an evil media presence at CNN. No, I'm kidding.
Can we get you on CNN?
Oh my God, dude. Could you imagine I get on Anderson Cooper?
Wait a minute, please. I don't think you lead with the clip from the special.
I don't think CNN would let me in their building.
Maybe they would. We could try. Have Burke on it.
All we could do is try. Yeah. No, I think there actually wasn't an evil media presence there. They were actually pretty cool. There was piss in my green room toilet. That's really what I remember. It's just
what did it smell like?
There was not good, to be honest. It smelled like just sitting piss. Yeah.
What'd you think of Trump saying Putin was a genius?
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Trump saying Putin's... Oh, by the way, some of my friends... You know what's crazy? One of my friends, I won't mention his name, but you can figure it out, has recently recanted his love of Donald Trump.
Wow.
He said he'll still always be a Republican. He'll always be a Republican. He's like, but looking back, now that the smoke is settled, he's like, I realized like Trump was probably a buffoon and supporting QAnon was probably the wrong move. He was like, because I just realized like, he said he was like the peaceful transfer of power in an election is so important and like makes us the best country in the world. And like when you look at these other countries, you realize like that doesn't happen and that almost didn't happen here. He said, so like that January 6th stuff was not good. He was like, and it's like such a slippery slope. I was like, wow. I was like, what the hell is going on with you? He's like, I got the booster. No, but I was like, literally, I was like, wow, dude, it was like out of nowhere. He was like, yeah, man, I just kind of feel like he was like, because I asked him, I was like, did you get Donald Trump's app? He was like, nah. He's like, as time went on, I realized like that was kind of whack. Like, like I just think like I'm all about being a Republican, but like we need like a real politician. He's like, because, I just think like that was not good. And he was like, I don't think that, I think like the country's like better off with just politicians. I was like, yeah, I guess. I was like,
yeah, how does that make you feel? Your friends are growing up.
Yeah, I was like, wow, look at that. I was like, are you going to move out of your mom's house? He was like, no. I saw this. What happened with this Wheel of Fortune loser? I'm publicly humiliated for reaching my lifelong dream. I saw this headline and was like, what? Like, what happened?
Did he drag through the mud?
Did he fuck up? Wheel of Fortune contestant Christopher Coleman has had enough of his name being dragged through the mud. Nobody knows your name, Christopher Coleman. And why are you going by Christopher, not Chris? I know why. If you listen to my comedy, you know why too. He said he was ridiculed about the episode airing. Did he just miss? Like, where is there a clip? Oh, will we get flagged if we play a clip?
Flagged. The answer was another feather in your cap. But let's see
okay, so what did he say? What did he say? Instead of another feather in your cap, is this something I learned when I was 6 years old, but I haven't heard in over 30 years, so it's been a while for me. Oh, wow. I mean, yeah.
It was right there. What did he say?
The sad part is that people are saying that we are not intelligent. We were trying to belittle our college degrees. Yeah, see, that's the thing is like people cry with internet trolls. It's like, buddy, like people say nasty shit to me all day, every day. It's what you sign up for if you want to be on a television show of any sort. So stop with the trolls, with the abuse of the trolls. It's like, grow a pair of fucking nuts and just don't look at the comments or just block them. Like, because that's what this article is about, is trolls were belittling why? Because I called you a stupid fuck because you didn't know another feather in your cap? It's a dumb thing not to know, okay? So it's like if somebody says, I can't believe you have a college degree, it's like, who cares? They don't have a college degree. There's no way those people were yelling you have a college degree. But, I mean, can people just stop with getting mad at internet trolls? What happened here?
Did you see this guy? This guy won the lottery twice in like 2 months.
Wow, New York man defied lottery odds after winning $10 million from a scratch-off game, and it's the second time in 3 years he's won it. Juan Hernandez of Uniondale and Nassau. Wow. Nassau County won New York's lottery $10 million deluxe scratch-off game this month. Now, they have to look into that, right? What are the chances of that?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he has to have some inside info. Now, here's the thing with lottery winners is they usually all die within a year. So he's going to kill himself. So
something's going to happen, right?
We should find a way to get in there and have him leave us the money.
We should, have TT go in and
yes,
TT.
yes, or have dude. If I was a girl right now, I'd be out there trying to have his baby. I'd be out there being like, "Hey, daddy, you want to scratch off this pussy?" Oh my God. I know. See, that's the other thing too. That's the other thing too with the Ukrainian-Russian war is it throws people off when. Like there's supermodels taking pictures like with AK-47s, like trying to get the right angle, and they're saying they're fighting in the war. But the understand is like my grandfather told me this. He fought in World War II. He said when I was a teenager, I remember I asked him a lot of questions about it. He said the thing is with war is most of it is just sitting around waiting. That's all he said. There was many days into weeks into months where I did truly nothing. Like I was playing games. You almost forget you're at war because nothing is happening. And then the battle happens and it's 2 or 3 days of fucking terror, right? So he said, so that's the thing with this war is like, there's parts of the Ukraine right now that it's like, I don't want to say life is normal, but there's nothing happening. Like the Russians are not there. It's like there's many parts of Ukraine where it's like I don't know if schools and businesses are open. Maybe not. I guess they can get raided at any time. But it's like, so people be like, how serious could the war be if she's taking a picture with an AK-47? It's like, yeah, a lot of, there's a lot that we live in a digital age now. You just didn't see my grandfather getting a blowjob from a Vietnamese hooker. But, he would have, if he had a cell phone, maybe he would be on IG Live. It's possible.
But I'm not mad at the hot girl taking a photo. I mean,
No.
we just talked about the power of Kim's pussy.
Yeah.
So get out there and get more guys to come to the front
Could
lines.
Ukrainian pussy stop the war?
I think pussy could stop anything.
Pussy could stop anything or make it. Pussy can make everyone fight, can make anybody fight and make anyone peaceful.
I think so.
It's got duality.
Pussy and heroin.
Can bring peace or war.
Yep.
The pussy. Well, here's
Happy Women's Month, guys.
That's what I want. That's what I was getting
Sorry.
to. Happy Women's Month is we're removing women's pussies because it causes too much war. Magic Spoon, I love this cereal. I saw a commercial for them on television yesterday with some jacked guy eating Magic Spoon. I said, that should be me because I love Magic Spoon so much. It is the best healthy cereal if you're trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, and unhealthy food. Magic Spoon's the thing for you because, baby, it ain't got no sugar. It's got 14 grams of protein and only 4 net carbs in each serving. It's only 140 calories. I love Magic Spoon. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb, motherfucker. I love Magic Spoon. Seriously, I eat it all day, every day. It's my favorite meal. I mean, dude, remember when we went to L.A., Pimp? What did I have, 50 boxes of Magic Spoon in that goddamn house?
I mean, you still do here.
I love it. The maple waffle, yummy. I got to actually re-up. Build your own box. There's available flavors to build your very own custom bundle. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. And you're going to get a discount right now if you go to magicspoon.com/chaos. That's magicspoon.com/chaos. $5 off your first order. Magicspoon.com/chaos. Use the code chaos. Save $5 off your order. I love you, Magic Spoon. 100% happiness guaranteed. America's #1 meal kit. America's #1 meal kit. America's #1 meal kit. That's what they're shouting out in the streets of you now. HelloFresh is literally my favorite product I've ever tried. I learned how to cook with HelloFresh. The HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes that are great for satisfying, nutritious meals. Everybody in my family eats HelloFresh. Every single person. We love it. We've been giving little bits and pieces of it to the baby. She loves it. HelloFresh cuts back on time spent in the kitchen with meals ready in around 30 minutes or less, plus quick and easy meals, including 20-minute recipes and low prep and easy cleanup options. They provide an even faster route to putting food on the table. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality, and you can save on average $65 per month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. It offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, including veggie, fit and wholesome, family-friendly, and gourmet options, providing plenty of variety. I fucking love HelloFresh. And it's like they give the food away. Go to HelloFresh.com/chaos16. Use the code chaos16. You're going to get 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh.com/chaos16. Use the code chaos16. 16 free meals plus 3 free gifts. It is the best deal out there. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. So I don't know. And now, they were saying too, you were telling me, Mike, that Russians, like, they're like texting their moms or something
You
like
just
that.
call me Mike?
Sorry. I was being professional in war. I'm a wartime correspondent. When we're in wartime, you're Mike. Peacetime, you're homeless pimp. Didn't you say something about...
Russian troops' text messages got intercepted.
See, but even with that, like what you're seeing, it's like that might be like 3 guys. It's like might not be the core of the Russian army.
Or the government could have just made it up and read it off a piece of paper.
It is sick though. Some of the videos, and it's nothing even. It's just Russian soldiers walking through like the Ukrainian city. It's like eerie. It's like you think you're looking at footage from the past, but it's happening right now. Papa is asking if I could send you a parcel. Ooh, very proper. Mama, I'm in Ukraine. There's a real war raging here. I'm afraid we were bombing all the cities together, even targeting civilians. We were told they would welcome us, and they were falling under our armored vehicles, throwing themselves under the wheels and not allowing us to pass. They call us fascists, Mama. This is so hard. Just visualize the magnitude of the tragedy. Several moments later, he was killed. It just all seems too convenient, right? That exact message that the news wants to put forth is what he texted.
The only source is this old guy who reads.
Yeah, I just don't.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's true. Yeah, the Ukrainian people have it.
Yeah, but we could get a podium and a piece of paper and you could read anything.
That's the problem, is you want to believe that's true, but it feels too Hollywood. Just like all our war heroes in the past have just been Hollywood, like it probably didn't happen the way it happened. You know,
well, that's my thing. Especially in film school, they made me watch all the propaganda films.
Right.
So I'm like, what part of this is going to be propaganda in a few years? And right now you just think it's...
Well, even that, the propaganda of like the Ukrainians being Nazis is all propaganda. Like, yeah, I'm sure the Ukrainians have some Nazi cults just like every other country in the world does. And they took pictures of it and be like, oh, they're trying to denazify the Ukraine. It's like, there's no Nazism there.
I love how even to Putin, he loves to drop Hitler stuff. Mm-hmm. Even Putin's like, they're Nazis, so...
Yeah, so let's get them.
Everyone's Nazis.
Yeah. I think the big thing is going to be when they publicly... When the Russians, or when the Ukrainians they killed a trans person, then the United States is going to start running it. If they accidentally kill a Ukrainian trans person, then Biden's going to say, we have to get there. I love Biden, by the way. What a pandering fucking asshole when he just came out in his State of the Union, which absolutely sucked. When he came out and said out of nowhere, just know if you're a trans child, I have your back. It's like, Joe, stop, okay? You already won. You know you're going to lose. It's fine. Everybody wants to be transgender, be transgender. Nobody gives a shit. Seriously, the media keeps the shit alive. It's like most people, if they meet a trans person, it's like, oh, fine, it's trans. Who cares? But the media keeps this bullshit alive. Biden needs this shit to come alive. So here's what I do, President Zelensky, because you're a Jewish comedian. What I would do is, if you really want Joe Biden and the United States to enter the war, have the Russians kill a trans person, and then I'm telling you, Biden will come flying fucking over there immediately, because that's what he thinks will get him more votes. If he defends trans people, it's like, Joey, there's no problem with the trans. I mean, there's every single community in the world has people that like them and people that don't like them. The fact that he goes out there and says trans people are getting killed left and right, these things just aren't true. The things just aren't true. And then they bring up like the Pennsylvania swimmer who's trans. Nobody has a problem that she's trans. Good, celebrate it. The problem is you're swimming for a woman's team. That's the problem. You can't go from 458th in the world as a man to first as a woman. There's an issue. There's an issue-wishy there. That's the issue. It's not about trans. 99% of people love trans people. They love trans. They have no problems with it. I get a trans person right now cleaning my fucking kitchen, watching my kids. Who cares? But they keep this alive. So that's my advice to Joe Biden. You want the United States involved? That's what you do. If you accidentally hurt a trans person in the Ukraine, I'm telling you, baby, we will start flying tanks over there. Just fucking, we'll get right out there. And then Biden will look like a hero. There's a part of me that does think that he wants his approval rating to go up, so he might get involved in a war, because that usually boosts American morale, and presidents typically, when there's wartime, get a lot of good votes, because the United States usually winning the war, usually.
Well, hasn't war elevated humanity the whole run?
Yeah, war is just, there's never going to be a time, I wonder if there'll ever be a time where there's no war, because if you think about it, there's no reason for war at all. There really is no reason.
Well, it sounds like you jump up a few technologies every war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because World War II pretty much became computers and everything, right?
That's when aliens started coming to the planet.
What do you think the aliens think of this?
Oh, my God.
Putin's an alien.
I was going to say, could you imagine this is the alien war? This war is not humans. This is aliens. Everyone who's in charge is an alien. Everybody's in charge is an alien.
I think NATO's aliens.
You think NATO's aliens? Jesus. I mean, dude, by the way, did anybody feel inspired watching the State of the Union last week?
I didn't even know it was on.
Even V, you did not feel inspired. Wow, V did not feel inspired.
Did you?
No, I was watching it actually. I was watching, and I'm truly not a Biden. Look, he's the president, so I'm about supporting the president.
I need to know, like, set the scene. Are you watching it in a room full of children with TT?
Oh yeah, no, is your group chat going off? I was about to text the group.
I swear to God, I watched the entire State of the Union with me in the bed, me, Jasmine, Delilah, and Violet. And Delilah was on her tablet, Violet was sleeping, and Jasmine was like editing her Patreon content. And I was watching the State of the Union, hang on to every word. And listen, I don't even care about the little missteps, whatever, when he said the Iranian people versus Ukrainian people. He can barely read the teleprompter. I get it. He's almost 80 years old. The problem is like, he had to go out there, I thought, and like say he was sorry for certain things. Like you have to, like the Afghanistan thing, it was like, you fucked us. This NATO thing, like prices of gas going up, like a lot of it is your fault. And you don't own anything. And it's like, oh, like, you know, like the problem is now is like back in the day, you could do that. You could just say, because you could feed us whatever you wanted. But now with everyone being armed with a camera, it's like, you know the truth. You know what's going on for the most part. Even if the news wants to make it bullshit, it's like people's Instagrams and Twitters and the citizens will just post shit. So we know, like, the thing is, like, with Biden, his approval rating is so low because, like, we know he's lying. Like, we know it's bullshit. We know there's major issues, and he's just not a strong leader. I don't think anybody thinks he's a strong leader, and especially in a time where we may go to war, like, he's not the guy. Like, I would rather have Kamala Harris I'd rather have Kamala than him, because at least she seems like a strong woman. I'm not saying I like her or whatever. I don't know anything about her policies, TBH. But I know what I do know about Biden is he's not strong. He's like a weak, frail, fable man, and it's like that's not good. Vladimir Putin isn't that. I don't want, Vladimir Putin's a maniac, but Vladimir Putin, like, he looks strong. The French president, these guys look strong. Like, we have like an old, like, just fumbling old man president. And it's like, I worry about him too, because same way you said maybe Putin has cancer and just wants to go out. What about Biden? He's 80 years old. What? You should not be president. We talked about this with my pops. You can't be president. You can only be president between 50 and 65. 15 years. If you're over 65, you can't. If you're under 50, you can't. 50 to 65 is when you can be president, because then it's like you've already given up on your life, most likely, whatever. You're married, divorced, who gives a shit? And you just kind of want to have some fun in the sun.
I guess, but Putin has headliner money.
Yes.
Putin's out for blood.
Well,
Biden got fake awards that he's happy with.
Well, they say Putin might be the richest man in the entire world. They say that because his money is not on paper. So if you look at Putin's money on paper, he's not even a billionaire. But the thing is with these Russian oligarchs and the Russian country, like they all kick up money to Putin. So he might be worth like $1 trillion. Like it might be insane the worth that he has, but we'll never know. We'll never know.
He's terrifying, but I watched all this B-roll of him like wrestling people, and like people are letting him win. They let him score 8 goals in a hockey game.
Yeah.
He does feel like the Michael Scott of dictators.
He's the Michael Scott of dictators, or he feels like if Pablo Escobar was a dictator. If Pablo Escobar had a country, this is what it'd be like. It's like the big drug dealer, thug, whatever.
Imagine the cartel teamed up with them, then we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
If the cartel pulled up on a pact with Russia, they lost Germany, they gained.
Well, the thing is, though, too.
Oh my God.
The thing is like because people point to like the United States and Afghanistan. The United States couldn't overtake over Afghanistan. It's like that's true, but still, we never really unleashed like the full force of the United States Army. It was still like just like 10% of the army. Never really used the weapons, like whatever. And it's also like we were trying to stabilize that country. Not that they needed it, but that's what we were trying to do. Where if you go to full on war with Russia, then it's just like. It's like heavyweight versus heavyweight. It's like they're just going to want to knock them out. You know what the United States like on record plan is? If, God forbid, we got nuked by Russia, do you know what the United States plan is? First of all, they claim that we have an Iron Dome even better than Israel, the United States, and that we would ignite a nuke over the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean, whichever. I think, the Atlantic Ocean it would come from. I don't know. It would come through Alaska. I don't fucking know. Sarah Palin would grab it and fucking deep throat it right in midair. But our response to them would be to send 5 nuclear bombs immediately and level the entire country of Russia. Like it would be a decapitation technique where it's like there's not even it would be within moments of the nuke hitting us, 5 would be at them. So and then it's done. And then they're like, oh, that because Russia's so far away that the radiation wouldn't hurt us. It's like, what?
It would total Greece. It would total Greece.
Yeah. Greece is getting fucked. V's going to Greece next week.
No, but I wanted on the Patreon. We'll talk about. I learned how to survive a nuclear blast.
You did
because there was one man who was in all 3 bombings of Japan, and he survived. Really? He was good.
Really interesting.
But before we go to Patreon, we should read some Patreon.
Yes,
questions.
well, that's what I want to get to. Is at patreon.com/ChristyComedy. If you're not subscribing to that, I think you're missing a humongous part of the show. We have so much fun in the Patreon. We do things like TT Jerry's Bucket List. We do history vlogs. We do walking tours. We do a bunch of stuff. And we also, if you're on the Patreon, we read questions. You have a chance to get on this show because you ask us a question, we have a chance. We will read it live on the show, but only for a member of the Patreon. So go to patreon.com/ChristyComedy right now to join the chaos and really be a part of the show because we get because I'm still a little bit in a box here because we're on YouTube, but when I'm on Patreon, I'm fully unleashed. I have my pants off. I mean, I'm tucked back, ripping shit. So one of our lovely Patreon members, this came from Aubrey Kane, who's a Patreon member. Thank you for your loyal service. Thank you for being a Christian and part of the Christians. The Havana syndrome. Sorry, my baby's just my baby Violet's looking at me. Are you on the Patreon, Violet? If you're not on the Patreon, please don't talk to me. The Havana syndrome is extremely scary. It's the use of microwave weapons. I listened to a podcast that covers a lot of conspiracies and crazy happenings in the world. They said that NASA is always a couple of decades ahead of us technology-wise. Fun fact, NASA initially was meant for ocean exploration. Do you think there's a species of aliens living in our oceans? Wow, good question from Aubrey Kane. And if the Havana syndrome, if we talked about it on last week's podcast and we talked about it on last week's Patreon at patreon.com/ChristyComedy. Havana syndrome is something that U.S. Politicians and dignitaries are saying that all of a sudden out of nowhere they get crippling pain in their head and they feel like they're having a stroke. And a lot of people think that that's some foreign government or our own government manipulating their brain through microwave energy and like basically like making their head a bag of popcorn, just kernels in their head. And some people can come back from it. Some people can't. So it's very, very terrifying. We talked about all of it on last week's episode and the Patreon. Let's do one more Patreon question. I like ending each episode like this because it's just fun to see what the fans are up to. And we have good questions. We have something about the Havana syndrome, and then we have another spectrum where we have Jordy who says, babe, do you think ghosts fuck us like when we are asleep? Yes. There have been many times where I got up waddling out of bed and I said, I just got fucked by a ghost.
When I'm in a bad mood, when I'm having a bad day, I always kind of think maybe
a ghost got in your head?
Maybe I got ghosts fucked walking around. Can they just fuck you when you walk around?
100% they can. Do you ever think like when you're having a bad day, like, oh, by the way, I'm not going to drink diet soda anymore because there's a chemical in. You're
not drinking alcohol either, right?
Not drinking alcohol. There's a chemical, and I'll be 201 pounds by June 1st. Do you think that there's I found out that there's a chemical in Diet Coke that causes ADHD. So even though there's no calories in Diet Coke, you basically, when you drink like anything that's not water, any of these chemicals, it alters your brain where you're not really you. Like I'm only trying to drink 2 cups of coffee a day now. It was upwards of 6, 7, 8. I didn't even think about it. But then I realized like I'm not actually me because my brain is so hyper and everything is so hyper that I'm not the personality that I am. Like I want to be as much as my real personality as I can. So I think the only way to really get to that is to just stop taking in so many chemicals. Is because I just want to be my own personality.
There's chemicals in everything though.
Yeah, I just want to be the real me. But I'm saying like if you can try to get like a little bit like, like just substitute stuff like the Diet Coke. I didn't know that there's this chemical that we looked at, me and Jeff. It's even in my daughter's baby food.
I think it's aspartame. What is it?
No, it's not aspartame. It's another chemical that makes it is the same thing that they use to treat. It's the same thing that it's something with ADHD.
It also gives you diabetes pretty quick.
Diet soda does?
Yeah.
Interesting. Just one serving of an artificially sweetened drink per day is associated with 8 to 13% higher risk of type 2 diabetes. That's interesting because you would think that it's not because it's a sugar alternative. Because people just look at calories, and calories are important, but all these other chemicals, it's like it just changes the makeup of who you are.
Anything that's not water comes with a cost.
Anything that's not water comes with a cost.
Yeah. And every time you chew, it comes with a...
That's what you said once. What did you say? Every time you chew, you get close.
Chaz Palminteri said his specialist in Beverly Hills said every time you chew, it shortens your life.
Yeah, I saw that episode with Chaz Palminteri, that specialist. You should have mentioned the clip somewhere he has Parkinson's disease because I just thought he was on fucking crack. Shout out Parkinson's.
Shout out.
Shout out. You know that my doctorate level dissertation that you need to complete to get a doctorate degree, you know what? It was for vibration therapy in Parkinson's disease. The only way to get a PhD and a doctorate degree is to try to prove something that's never been proven and add to the literature. So that's what I did, is I wrote an entire paper on vibration therapy and how it can help Parkinson's disease and different vibration techniques that can focus on the basal ganglia section of your brain, which is where they think Parkinson's lives, and how it can manipulate it. And I wrote a whole paper on it, and I swear to God, and got a doctorate in physical therapy, and I forgot everything that I wrote. Every single thing that I wrote, I fucking forgot. So, and it was a 60 or 70 page paper that I needed to complete. Like it's the only way you get the doctorate. Not everyone gets a doctorate.
Is this like printed somewhere? I'm trying to Google it.
Google Chris Distefano, DPT, vibration, Parkinson's dissertation.
I also want to know how opening for Hassan Minaj was.
Oh my God. Opening for Hassan Minaj was, first of all, you know what? Let's do that on the Patreon because I got to get into it. I got to get into opening for Hassan Minaj because, baby, it was 6,000 Indian people, and I love them, but I'm going to let you know if they love me. You can only find out that answer at patreon.com/ChristyComedy. Opening up for Hassan Minaj was an experience, baby. We're going to talk about it. Shout out Hassan. ChristyComedy.com for all my dates. Listen, babe, we got dates coming up, okay? I mean, all right, go to patreon.com/ChristyComedy to find out what happened with me and Hassan Minaj. Thank you guys so much. Don't worry about what's happening in the Russia and Ukraine. It's all going to be resolved. Everything will be resolved. We just got to get Trump back. Okay. I'm kidding. By the way, we got an Audible on. And by the way, I just want to say something. I posted a picture last week of Violet with socks that said Trumpette. That is not, I did not buy those for her. That's a company called Trumpette that makes children's socks. So everyone was getting mad at me calling Trump supporter, you stupid fucking assholes. Look at your kids' socks. They all say Trumpette, you pieces of shit. But I did buy her the Trumpy Bear.